Hey, we're Flick and Joe, and this is our dog Walter. In 2022, we made the crazy decision to quit our full-time jobs, pack up our lives, and move aboard our blue water sailing boat. We spent many months refitting her and getting her ready for our plans until one day we actually did it. We cast off the lines, we pointed her south, and off we went. We've now sailed over 1,000 nautical miles, dodging orcas, yes, actually, and most of the rocks along the way. Join us for the beautiful, quite stressful but endlessly eventful life that is full-time living aboard.
In this week's episode, we sail a 24-hour passage to Africa, and we battle some pretty nasty seas. Don't forget to subscribe to follow us along on this adventure.
Go away. It's 6 o'clock in the morning.
It's 9 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock.
Oh, through the window. Bit of porridge. Where are we off to, Walter? Morocco!
So we had finally sorted Walter's paperwork out, which now meant we had a health certificate for him, which was valid for 3 days. So we had to get him from Vilamoura to Tangier, Morocco, a 145 nautical mile trip of Sail Direct, in what was now 2 days, because the weather meant we couldn't leave yesterday. In fact, leaving today was also less than ideal, but what choice did we have? Fortunately, my cousin Sam, who was going through some trouble at home, was able to fly out last minute and give us a hand with the 24-hour passage, which in hindsight was incredibly helpful, because about 1.5 hours into our Morocco passage, the autopilot broke. The mechanical arm lost all drive and made some very unsavoury noises.
Going manual too much all this way now.
No, I'll turn it back on at some point, see if it works. It's kind of messy with settings on it. I did try and turn the autopilot back on later, and it was very unhappy. I couldn't see anything wrong with the installation, so I assumed it had to be something internal. Something had gone wrong in the arm. I'll upload a whole video on repairing the autopilot arm in the future, but basically some plastic gears had run out of usable life. There were next to no teeth remaining on the gears, which rendered our autopilot ineffective. We had 20 to 25 knots of breeze off our back corner and 3 metre seas in the same direction. The sea state was pretty uncomfortable, to say the least. It was very confused with 2 swells in differing directions. Of course, we could have just turned around. We were only 10-15 miles from land, but then we'd have to get another health certificate for Walter, and we also had a Schengen visa problem too. Oh, and of course, we were meant to meet some friends in Tanger for Christmas Day. We were hitting 10 plus knots surfing some of the waves, and it was occasionally gusting high 20s, low 30s, so we reefed down the sails, trusted in the forecast, which had assured us that both wind and swell would drop through the night, and we made the call to continue.
Pink car call.
Yeah, rough course. Yeah, I know. That's the Wi-Fi box. It fell off the counter. Yeah, or put it on the counter but face down. Big wave! Don't worry, everyone was okay, including Walter. Whenever the weather gets rough, Walter and Flick seem to gravitate towards bed. Both of them were tucked up in bed while Sam took a little tumble down below, but he was okay.
I don't know if you can see, you can't really see, but all the cushions have come off in there and everything has fallen here.
Yeah, but I checked before we left it, so basically saying sometimes it's not that accurate, which is always blows my mind that the world nowadays can't figure it out. Daytime turned to dusk, and before you know it, we were plunged into darkness, and so began the long night of hand steering. Sam and I shared most of the helm time, with Flick suffering from seasickness and occasionally chipping in.
You had a glimpse inside my head, you'd know I'm different than you. What works for you might not work for me, 'cause that's our solid ground. I'll build a life that helps me thrive. I hope you're doing the same. Through my eyes I see different than you. Together we open new worlds. Different eyes lead to new heights, new views. Together we color the world. Discovering self to know how to grow. Genius takes many shades. Truth is we all need to open our minds. Normal doesn't exist. Learn what you need and how you see. Lean deep in your strength. Through my eyes I see different than you. Together we open new worlds. Different eyes lead to new heights, new views. Together we color the world. Through my eyes I see different than you. Together we open new worlds. Different eyes lead to new heights, new views. Together we color the world. Together we color.
Eventually the wind and the swell did drop off, and we ended up starting the motor during the night. But every now and again we would have these nasty squalls blow through. They would bring torrential rain, and the wind would go from around 7 to 10 knots to 25 to 27 knots almost instantly. This final sail of the season was really testing us. We reduced the sail area still, and we kept plodding on. Eventually we could see light on the horizon. Dawn was here. I was just cold and exhausted come morning. Even when Sam or Flick were on the helm, I stayed in the cockpit with them to help confidence, occasionally nodding off myself. But the rising sun brought everyone's morale up, and the sea state had continued to calm down. We all came on deck, and debrief the chaos of the night. We'd done it. We'd sailed 145 nautical miles in 24 hours, and Walter's 3-day health certificate was still valid. And we'd made it to Morocco in time for Christmas.
Master helmsman. Well done.
Still can see the passage going. Got our friends on the highlights, low lights.
Autopilot broke. An hour in? 2 hours in?
I think it's about an hour and a half.
We were 24-hour passage, so we had no autopilot. I think the motor's broken.
It'll be really
Steering all the
annoying.
way through the night.
It'll be really annoying if we open that cupboard in
No, I was wondering that. It's
yeah.
just a really quick fix.
yeah.
That's ready. Risky being there while you get wet.
Silly years.
Chris and Amy from Sailing Saffron were already in Morocco and had been tracking us on AIS. They came to meet us at the pontoon and helped take the lines. We hadn't actually seen them since they left Plymouth over 1,300 miles ago and over 3 months. Oh, that's Chris's dad as well.
One of us jump off, or did that make any
I don't think you'll need to, we've got so much help. We've got, looks like there's a marina guy helping us, and Chris and Amy.
Last time we saw you was doing the other thing. We were swap places, you guys were leaving. Hi,
My dad might.
You won't be able to get off there. Are you going to trip right one?
Hi there. How are you? Yeah, all terrible, but hi.
The customs process of checking into Morocco did take hours. They were very thorough, they did lots of checks, they even boarded the boat and checked in different cupboards and cubbyholes. But then when we told them we had a dog, they said, so what, we have dogs in Morocco. They didn't care about a single piece of the paperwork that we'd done, after all that stress. But it would still be needed to bring Walter from Morocco, a high-risk rabies country, back into the EU in 3 months' time, so I'm justifying it in my head. Some of the damage. Everything here went flying, so that's all been put back. Luckily our laptops were okay. My print. Need to secure her down properly, maybe I'll put some magnets on her. But the rest of that has done quite well. Let's have a look. Pretty good, I'd say. Pretty darn good. Now enough stowing, I'm done with it. Hopefully the trip to the berth won't be a rocky one, because I'm sick of having everything packed away. Now this side, I'm really impressed by the freezer because it doesn't look like it's caused too much drama in all that rocking. I thought maybe the freezer would end up falling over. It's not too bad. These are all alive still. Advent calendar is very important. Still working. Decorations didn't last too well. This one's fine. That one's less fine. This, believe it or not, isn't that different to how it looked originally. Bit of a mess. This cactus, I've just put it back, but this cactus, I think my bag must have swung, hit it and pulled it off because the pot was still there but the cactus was missing. So I've just replanted it and we can hope that it'll be okay. Diffuser. Had a bit of drama. Very dramatic of it. This knife has fallen off of the knife block and decapitated our cactus, another cactus. No idea where the cactus is. Coming to a new country is always a fun experience, right? A new culture, new smells and sights, and Morocco was our first non-westernised or non-European country on this trip, so we didn't really know what to expect. So, after tidying up the boat and Joe having a little nap, we headed out for dinner with Chris and Amy to embrace some Moroccan food and settle in for our 3-month stay in this beautiful city. Unsurprisingly, it wasn't a late one, and the next day we said goodbye to Sam and tidied the boat ready for our new set of guests. Tune in next week to watch us explore Morocco.